What is up, good people? Juggling here. Hope you're doing well. I'm back. Sort of. This has been vicious. Essentially, what I've been dealing with, if you took COVID and you mixed it with the devil, essentially, is what I've been up against. Just to breathe and talk has been so difficult. But now I'm finally on the mend. On the other side of this thing, not completely recovered, but I'm back for all intents and purposes. Now, before we get into the only story we're going to cover today, which is the SEC's conduct, is they purposely lied to and misled the court. Massive story. Not the first time we've seen this type of conduct out of Gary Gensler in the SEC, but this is definitely the most severe. They really got caught here. It's a big deal, and it's time for Gary Gensler to pay the ultimate price, I believe. Now, let's look at the crypto market. We're down quite a bit. Pretty red and bloody day out there. Bitcoin, not too bad. Only down about 3%. Ethereum down about 5%. XRP, well, doing pretty good for XRP. Less than 1% down on the day. But pretty much across the board, most things are red and bloody, both on the 24-hour and the 7-day. Pretty nasty out there. Look at NEAR. Down 17% on the 24-hour. That sucker was really flying high. This is regular for crypto, though. Let me know what you're doing, and what should I do here? Be my financial advisor. Should I take this as an opportunity to get some good prices on some premium crypto assets? Or should I sit back and watch this unfold a little bit and see where we go? Let me know what you're doing, and let me know what I should do. Now, let's take a look at this story here. SEC hit with sanctions for its gross abuse of power in the debt box case. And it's funny. The SEC has been getting smacked around by Ripple and Coinbase, and they probably said, you know what? We need a win here within crypto, and debt box, that's going to be an easy one. And really, this sucker has ballooned into a nightmare for Gary Gensler and the SEC. We see the SEC initially conceded it misled the court, but argued a sanction wasn't appropriate. And if you remember, they just dropped the case. They're like, we're done with this sucker. We're out of here. Didn't work for the judge, thank goodness. Didn't let him off the hook here. Look at this. Great breakdown by Meta Lawman. The judge in the debt box case has issued an 80-page opinion sanctioning the SEC. Finally, a judge. Finally going after the SEC. Calling it for what it is. The judge opinion is devastating to the SEC as an institution, and to particularly the lawyer who committed the misconduct. This was massive. This wasn't just a mistake. This was intentional. The judge made it crystal clear the SEC's lawyer did not make an error. They lied intentionally. And to me, this is the big thing. The critical evidence the commission offered lacked any basis in fact. Yet the commission nonetheless advanced that evidence in deliberately false and misleading ways. And we've seen this especially within crypto court cases. This type of conduct, of course, this is much worse. But this is a theme under Gary Gensler's leadership here. Something needs to be done. This is totally unacceptable. The SEC engaged in a gross abuse of power entrusted to it by Congress. And that's the deal. Most of these courts, they're going to take it at your word. And for those of you that don't know, what the SEC did is they stated Debtbox was trying to move their assets out of the country. They weren't doing that. There was no evidence they were doing that. But they wanted those bank accounts frozen just to be nasty, to inflict pain on Debtbox. So they made up a story to the courts. And the court's saying, well, it's the SEC. We're going to take them at their word. They must not be lying to us. Did that. Now, imagine you're trying to run a business. You got to pay rent, utilities. You got to pay for employees. You got to pay your attorneys. And then all of a sudden, boom, your accounts are frozen. Think about how damaging that would be. The panic. The painful situation like that they have to work through. And the government is just lying. They've been caught here. And not only that, I tell you this. Gary Gensler should have ensured that the minute this thing surfaced, that they came clean and just said, this is what happened. The attorney lied and should be held responsible. They tried to cover it up. Now, I want you to imagine if that was a CEO of a company. The SEC found a CEO trying to cover up for something someone in their organization was doing. Gary would be calling for, all sorts of penalties and jail time and all of this. SEC should be held to a higher standard. Simple as that. The SEC undermined the integrity of the judicial process. Just embarrassing for this country and for Gary Gensler and the SEC as a whole. The judge has ordered the SEC to pay the attorney fees of the defendants in this case. And it is a sad day. We see crypto lawmen saying this. I don't know at this point what we do, but I think it was either Brad Garlinghouse or Stuart Alderati said it right. Gary Gensler has become a liability, a political liability. And I truly think after this, he's got to go. Because again, this is under his leadership. This is a continuous. We heard similar things, not this, extreme, but similar things in the Ripple court case to this. And then here, not only did the attorney lie, but they tried to cover it up. The minute you see that, you have to say, someone needs to step in, and they need to pull that attorney, and it needs to be disclosed. And that's what they would expect of you, me, someone out there running a publicly traded company. They would expect you immediately to disclose that, and they didn't do that themselves. They tried to cover it up. They tried to sugarcoat it, make it go away. They dropped the case because they knew they were in for a lot of trouble. Heads have to roll on this one. I don't know what it is with Gary Gensler and this band of idiots, but anytime they're going against a crypto company, they think it's okay to bend the rules, to make up their own laws, and something needs to be done here. This is outrageous. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Inc.